Hi, my name is Randall Dennis. Thank you for coming to our session. We really appreciate it. Also thanks to Bennett Dixon and GAMEIS for pulling this all together. And I want to thank Rick Kinnemer and Richardson for hosting us. And just let me take a couple of minutes and slides to explain Horizons so we can get onto the business of leveraging the cloud. The Horizons Group is a consulting firm based in Nashville. Our mission is to help clients optimize their yield management and technology investments, making your tech assets produce the most benefit for the lowest dollar through careful planning, design, and project management. Our technology disciplines include IT, IP telephony and unified communications, security and access control systems, audio, video, and video conferencing, cabled and wireless infrastructure, and power quality management. In terms of education credentials, I was previously Director of Business Development for an integrator in Nashville who held a 5-year contract with Nashville Metro Public Schools. Our co-founder holds a 5-year contract with the Tennessee Department of Education Testing Division, managing all the standardized testing infrastructure backbone. So now that I hope you've drunk the blue Kool-Aid, let's move on to the scoop on leveraging the cloud to your advantage. To cloud or not to cloud? That is the question. As much as we've learned to look at the Bard to answer pressing IT questions, I have a kind of a different take. My question is not to cloud or not to cloud. It is when to cloud and how to cloud. That is the question. We now know the cloud is not a fad. It's not even a mere trend. It is the future. It is an inevitable, central, vital component of technology, business, and education. So consequently, we as technologists, educators, leaders, and administrators have an inescapable strategic decision to make. It is, how will our organization effectively appropriate the cloud to improve the way we fulfill our mission? How can we do it economically and efficiently? How can we leverage its strengths to our advantage? Here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to take a quick look at the types of cloud computing, along with the best application for each type. We'll touch on some of the all-important funding and budgeting issues. We'll look at a few issues surrounding selecting the right team, and then we'll drill down onto some of the best timing to migrate and deploy a cloud. And lastly, I hope to field some of your questions. I have on hand Tim Tyler, Vice President of Business Development for Core Bank, which is a cloud provider who can answer specific technical cloud questions. And then along with Wayne Henley from Richardson, who knows more about public school funding and technology than anybody I know of. So let's look at all the cloud models, and you'll realize right away that not all the clouds are created equal. And take the words of the immortal Scotty there, who seems to have in his hand the right tool for the right job, huh? Software as a service, or SaaS. Examples are Salesforce.com, Google Apps, Zoho Office, or SunGuard Public Sector. The advantages are the typical cloud advantages. There aren't any upfront investments, highly scalable, access anywhere, relatively economical. The weaknesses? SaaS typically focuses on limited functions like sales, human resources, or enterprise resource planning. In the case of education, to my understanding, it's really focusing on finance and human resources, SIS, instructional management, or special education administration. So as great as they are, SaaS solutions or SaaS clouds are really only a partial solution. They eliminate only application-dedicated hardware and support costs. Application-dedicated hardware. The bottom line is excellent, but it's browser-dependent, its function is limited. Future. Next category is infrastructure as a service. This was originally hardware as a service and now is sometimes called utility computing. IaaS is virtual server storage on demand. Good examples, Amazon's Elastic Cloud, known as Amazon EC2. The advantages are high availability, reliability for supplemental and non-mission critical computing at a very low cost. The downside is that storage and storage related only. They have mixed service support depending on the provider. Bottom line, this is for the proficient who really need just a virtualized data center. Be careful about picking the right provider, because if you need a lot of support, you better be sure that you have a lot of support written into the SLA. Next category is platform as a service, or PaaS. PaaS providers allow you to develop and run applications in the cloud. They allow you to deliver those applications via the internet from the provider's servers. Good examples are Google App Engines, Force.com, and Coghead. The advantages, they're ideal for bring your own apps clients or BYOA. Limitations, parameters are dictated by the provider's designs and capabilities. It's only partial elimination of expenses. So the bottom line is I don't believe that it's particularly well suited for education needs. Platform as a service, I heard one author once say pretty right, it's sort of like passes the Legos of the cloud. If you want to build within the parameters of their nature, you're in a good space. Next category is what I'm currently calling core computing as a service. And core computing as a service, the example that I have on hand is actually Tim's core bank, the fellow in the back of the room. The product that they have as core computing as a service is called Complete Cloud. The advantages are that the experience is exactly like a user's PC desktop, using an operating system and applications they already know how to use. It includes backups, disaster recovery, business continuity. It's fully scalable. It's available anywhere that you can have internet access. It eliminates servers, licenses, storage devices, software packages, updates, and support. The total cost of ownership is typically about 30% less of the traditional way of computing. And I think he'll show you back there, if you look at it, they have all the Microsoft Office suite and other things like that. The limitations, I hate to say this in front of Tim, so Tim, cover your ears. There are only 15 users and up makes sense in terms of its scalability. There are some challenges too in blending single companies or single locations with both traditional and cloud in the same space. So you'd want to take your whole school or your whole district onto that cloud. The bottom line is it fully replaces all traditional systems, but for the end appliance. And netbooks are so cheap nowadays, terminals, whatnot. And the bottom line is they're also completing their proof of concept in education space right now, even right here in Georgia. Let's look at the other categories, and I'll just go very quickly over these. They include web services in the cloud, like Google Maps, ADP, payroll processing, the U.S. Postal Service. These are very, very narrow. Another category might be MSPs, which are the oldest forms of cloud. Basically an app exposed to managers and administrators rather than to end users. Stuff like virus scanning, services for email, application monitoring like Mercury, Oracle, cloud-based anti-spam services like Postini. You get the idea. Service commerce platforms, that's a hybrid of SaaS and MSP. Lastly is internet integration, which is the integration of cloud-based services in its infancy. Here's our first challenge. Whenever our board members and administrators and peers and teachers hear anything about the cloud, the good, the bad, the ugly, those comments or what they hear are not discriminating. They're not discerning the difference of cloud types and solutions and companies. So our vision and our vernacular must be clear about the cloud and our cloud strategy and the value it brings to our institutions. We have a big teaching curve ahead, orienting and training everyone to see the cloud as many clouds and many solutions within each cloud and then many vendors within each solution. To illustrate my point, here is a recent questionnaire by eSchool News, and this questionnaire was SaaS specific, yet I think it kind of reveals some of the same concerns that relate to all cloud types at one level or another. Data security is a major concern and probably the foremost, Data control, return on investment, and then everything else is sort of a mixed bag. So I guess our goal is to identify the cloud types that generally overcome obstacles of concern and then select cloud solutions and the cloud providers with the expertise and the references that assure us we can avoid and manage these challenges and make sure these things are written into our SLAs.